Languages in Star Trek. It's an odd thing, and I'm not talking about languages specifically, I'm talking about the universal translator, the machine that makes everything understandable and only doesn't work when the plot calls for it. I always found this interesting because as a kid, I knew that there had to be some sort of technology that makes them speak English. Kind of like the TARDIS in Doctor Who makes them speak English. The TARDIS in Doctor Who makes more sense. It's like a telepathic thing. It makes more sense to me. But in Star Trek, it's like it's a universal translator. So it's a universal translator. Is there like a holographic emitter that makes their mouth move like they're speaking English? It's one of those things that I think Star Trek Discovery does really well because they're always speaking their language a lot more, and it's sort of sometimes it's English. But the Universal Translator is one of those magical devices. Enterprise sort of showed the development, but it's a very unrealistic piece of technology in that. To be fair, maybe it's not. With AI being able to talk to whales and being able to talk to animals, maybe this is just the next sector. They're using AI in the UT for us to lol. And it makes sense in that way. So if you think about AI and analyzing language, stuff like that, it would work certainly for humanoid languages or languages where there's a basis, but would it work for the aliens that are non-human? So the Gorn and the I don't know, the black lakey creature that killed Tasha, or the other non-humanoid species 847-2, which they talk telepathically anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But it's really weird to me that Star Trek's never really explained that. It's one of those pieces of technology where they don't explain it. Because the real reason isn't anything magical. The real reason is we don't want to have to listen to foreign languages all the time. And it was a big 90s thing, but I think it's changed a little now. But back then, and back in the old days, no one wanted to listen to alien language. You look at 60s TOS Star Trek, and the aliens always spoke human. I actually can't think of an alien species that popped up that didn't speak human. No, I don't think there was any in TOS, unless they made noises or growls or such. TNG did it occasionally, but generally it was like Jolan True for the Romulans. It was like one word or two words. Voyager was the same. I think Deep Space Nine did a little bit more. Enterprise, certainly without the Universal Translator being as prominent, had to do it more. But it's a really interesting part of the universe that really, it doesn't make any sense when you think about it. It falls flat on its ass when these aliens, and it's one of those things about Season 5 of Discovery, they keep going, speak her language, and that's English. So not only we're not getting the Universal Translator, but they're speaking English because she's there. Isn't that nice of them? But they're a warlike species. Why would they do that? It just seems really they're too proud to show their humanoid faces, so the non-jelly faces, but they will speak English in front of the Scion's wife. It's quite wacky. It's also funny in terms of like the languages we get, because the only real fully formed language in Star Trek is the Klingon language. The Vulcan language tends to be they speak or they make up words and they re-record over them. I know in Star Trek 3, the Vulcan language was they were speaking English and then they redubbed it. Sorry, they subtitled it. They redubbed it with like a phonetically sounding to match their lips. But the subtitles were what they were saying, but with the words moved around. But certainly these days it's a bit wacky that they keep trying to, and I think people have been more open to subtitles now. I think a lot of people watch with subtitles, so maybe we'd get something different in the future. It's very interesting. The inconsistencies are amazing. Like I can point out dozens of times where I've gone, that doesn't make any sense. Anyways, what do you think? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Trek Trav, and
Live long and prosper.